I'm Susan Lucci, and I live in Chicago, and I am passionate about creating soulful spaces. Mostly I do it with women to deepen dialogue, connect them to themselves and each other, and to create transformative containers. I'm so grateful that a dear friend of mine recommended the book, The Way of the Mysterial Woman. And since then, I've taken the Essentials course twice. And since I work primarily with circles of women, this work benefits me deeply, and also I can use it with my work in the world. Yeah, so I was definitely on my path before taking this course and reading the book first. The subtitle, Upgrading How You Live, Love, and Lead, is what really resonated with me. I thought, yeah, that's the piece I'm always intent upon. In addition, I'm always seeking other seekers. And so I have taken dozens of online classes, and that's one of the most rewarding pieces of it. So I'm always looking to feed with a new perspective this voracious hunger that I have to learn more, to become more in the world. And as I discovered that this work actually attracts amazing women. And so it was the both and, finding my people and also feeding that hunger to learn new and better ways. Yeah, you know, additionally, just that longing piece, what I did initially search out was book groups with women 10 years ago. That was the way that people were meeting and having different conversations than the playground conversation. But that did not satisfy this deeper desire that I had. And so what I ended up doing is starting my own work to feed that piece. And so in that work, recently I trained to be a purpose guide, and one of my fellow purpose guides had found this book. And when I first looked at the website, I was just a deep resonance with the images and also the words that were there. And especially this piece about women at the frothy edge of evolution. You know, who could resist that? So that's really what I was saying yes to. And so for me, when I am looking, or a course comes to me like this, I'm really just trusting my intuition, and it is a resonance. So there was nothing that stopped me just to consider, will the timing work? Can I afford this? Those kind of pieces. So I've taken so many classes, I'm not afraid to try something new like this, and that draws in. So having taken the course once and then again, I love the blend, what Suzanne offers in her teaching style. And always a centering to begin with, a centering practice. And Suzanne is particularly gifted across the waves of the internet of conveying her soulfulness. You know, she has the beautiful background that portrays there, and really her own presence and essence comes right through immediately. And her initial invitation to turn off the distractions and really connect. And I loved the beautiful way that she does it with the head, the heart, and the hara, and to really bring those in with some new phrasing, new images. And you can tell it comes from a depth of experience that Suzanne has had in this work. So even though she was a neophyte with this online training, I just felt that she was almost immediately masterful with it. So we could transition so quickly from the busyness of life into this beingness of the sessions that she invited us into. I loved the teaching moments, how Suzanne could bring, you know, a two-dimensional book into just make it come alive with images that were so compelling and just stirring. I just was always saying, can you share that image? They were just so I can't even put words to it. But then her presence with the teaching, and yes, we would go into small groups, and that was always wonderful to meet other women and to also enjoy that connection and the reflection between us. I think I still use the katas and the mantras that she taught us. A very powerful start each morning when I wake up, to just roll out of bed into a kata. Really wonderful. Suzanne also would pose soul-stirring questions to us and give us homework. So we were really sent off after the session into the world to take action and to really embody this new way of being. And I loved one question that I remember was, you know, what if women a woman brought herself more fully to her work. You know, what is our potential new way of being, and how can we get there? And I feel that Suzanne really poses these questions and then also presents a pathway to achieving them and to answering them. And with each opening of an archetype, you can feel the resonance and also the call to deepen into it. So this work has many layers to go. So I was grateful that Suzanne reached out and generously made the course available to those of us who had gone through it a first time. And it was interesting to feel the deepening of the awakening of each of the archetypes, and also to witness among a whole new circle of women the awakening was really fabulous, right? Because you can have these unique moments in life, these unique experiences, the aha, and you think, oh, that was so precious, it won't happen again. And so to experience that over and again and be able to deepen in is always so affirming to me, and to really feel into those archetypes. And you know, it is deep work that requires time and that consistent holding and deepening into it. So it was so wonderful that I am thinking, okay, what's the next step? Should I do this a third time? Should I read the book again? You know, what is the next step of this for me? I would love to have circles to hold. That's the work I do. So to hold circles of women that have been through this program, you know, and continue it together in this container, this murmuration that Suzanne describes. I very much believe and flow in that beautiful metaphor. So her teaching style, I have worked with. I was a lawyer, went to law school. I've been through lots of education, taken dozens of online classes. And Suzanne's teaching style is unique. She was admittedly not technically savvy, but she had a great support team. So there were the usual few glitches, but she just gracefully maneuvered through them. I thought handled questions that came through, you know, just a wonderful feminine quality of teaching and balancing this soulfulness with her intellect, with movement. She would stand up and actually show us the katas, and we would stand up and do them. You could feel the inspiration really singing through her. And then that curiosity, you know, and more the heartful quality. So just a beautiful embodiment of a feminine teacher, I think. And I have to say she's among the very best of the online teachers, especially. I've never met her in person. I would love to. And I think that's really saying a lot, because this was her first online class. I was in that. So I will never forget, and I often use with my clients, that welcome discomfort that Suzanne, and I remember the class when she dropped that on us, and it was just like, what? It was this paradox, you know, this oxymoron of like, seriously? And I've really, really settled into that, and now challenge my clients with that. And it's such a wonderful, edgy place to be, to welcome discomfort. Wow. As she's teaching, yes, there were new ways of saying things, but she's also touching like deep truths that you know in your soul. And so it's this beautiful, like, oh, there's a new image, there's a new phrase, there's a new question. And it also is just like this, wow, this is a deep knowing that I have in my soul as well. So that was those ancient archetypes that Suzanne is enticing and bringing forward. Really, really grounded in these decades of research and discoveries that she has. And also she could make it so prescient to the news of the day, because certainly we live in such chaotic times. And so we could not just jump into the class at moments without dealing with the chaos in our country. So she balanced that so masterfully. Well, I recently recommended it to a lifelong friend who is just waking up to the feminine archetypes. And she wondered where a succinct way, I've been reading for 10 years about the sacred feminine. And so she wondered where she could succinctly, and right away I went to Suzanne's work and I showed her some images and some charts that Suzanne has made. And I have shared this class with her, because I think it is wonderful for seekers well along the path, as well as people who are just waking up to, oh, the sacred feminine, oh, the rising crone in me. You know, I think Suzanne's work is also an easy on-ramp for them to come into it as well. I have not yet done the depth work, so I don't know about that. My experience having been in the community with women who were very vulnerable and in very, very deep, challenging places, it was, wow, powerful, and what a privilege to watch their transformation through this process. So I absolutely witnessed that, even though that's not particularly where I stand on the path at this moment. So I really can't say enough. I recommend this class to the women that I work with, women that I talk to. I recommend the book. I think the most helpful pieces to my everyday life probably are the katas. Just incorporating that into my daily routine. I also love walking by my altar. She has us create and play with an altar and these different archetypes. And so I love to just even walk by and see one of these glimpses and remember that awakening part of me. I still love to read the post on Facebook. The students in my classes we formed connections, even though we live thousands of miles away. I've talked to some of them, across the ocean on the phone to talk about my work, their work, and our work. So it really has so many layers. I don't think there's any piece missing. You know, there's the homework, there's the connection of the community, the teaching. You always have the book to go back to. And then there's those images, those just really soulful, stirring images, which I keep up on the desktop of my computer and love to, to really sit and meditate with and hold. So yes, I absolutely recommend, why not, to upgrade how you live, love, and lead. Isn't that what's needed on this planet right now? And I think this course that Suzanne is offering satisfies this deep craving for more, this desire to up-level that I'm hearing more and more, especially middle-aged women, beginning to express this hunger. And how can I be more and rise to my potential? And to be in a crucible, a transformative crucible of women intent upon this together is the most powerful way that I know of and experience to transform. And so I leave having taken the course twice now and thinking, okay, what's next for me? How can I continue to explore becoming even more of a mysterial woman in the world? So I'm very grateful to Suzanne.